Diane.
Hi,
How
how
are
are you,
things
Gloria?
going? Pretty good. How are things going for you?
Great, great. It was great seeing you at Comic-Con, and I was at Comic-Con 2013, and you were there, and that's how we met, and
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
wonderful. Yeah.
So tell me what's been going on with you. There's been so many things I've been hearing.
There is a tremendous amount going on, and it's kind of surprising to me because I didn't even think anyone really remembered me. I mean, but all of a sudden, so many things have been coming up. I wrote my book. I have a book on Amazon, and it's called Diane Franklin, The Excellent Adventures of the Last American French Exchange Babe of the 80s. So, it's a long title, but if you look up Diane Franklin on Amazon, you'll find it.
It's a great read.
Oh, thank you. So basically what happened was I came out with my book, and then about a week later I started getting like people interested in, you know, finding out about it, and so I started doing interviews, and the thing that was, there's a little horror going on, okay?
We always seem to have that in places we go.
And I have to just acknowledge it. This is early horror. Right, hope he's okay. So anyway, what happened was I wrote this book, and then all of a sudden movies started coming out again that I was in. I had a commentary that I did for Terror Vision, which is a horror spoof about a monster that comes out of a TV, which is really funny. And I look like Cyndi Lauper. I have like all crazy hair, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm talking like that, like a valley girl. So I look punk and, you know, tough kind of, but I talk like a valley girl. So I did that movie, and then so they wanted me to do commentary for it, which was great. And that was really fun because I got to see the cast again. I got to see Jonathan Gryce, who played my boyfriend, OD. And it was so much fun. He's such a nice guy. So I did that, and then I did a movie called Second Time Lucky, which I never thought anyone would even ever hear about. And they decided to have me come do commentary for it, as well as an interview, and like I did commentary with the movie, watching it. So that came out this year as well. Then I did Last American Virgin. They decided to make it come out on the UK, on a Blu-ray in the UK, and so that is coming out this October. So I had to do commentary for that as well, but that was with Boaz Davidson, and I got to talk about his career because they were doing an homage to him. So that was really fun in the UK. It was really, that's going to be coming out this October. But I had no idea, so I didn't know that that movie was even that popular there. And then now this coming fall, the trilogy from Amityville is coming out. So I did Amityville 2, so it's going to be Amityville 1, 2, and 3 coming out on Blu-ray, I think. And I did commentary for that as well. So I'm kind of surprised. I mean, the only one that I really haven't done is Better Off Dead. Bill and Ted's, I guess. They're going to do Bill and Ted's 3. But I did talk to Savage Steve Holland, and I said, what about doing some commentary for that? And he said, well, I'd be open to it, so maybe I'll be working on that and see if I can get that going. But it's just been amazing that people remember me, and then they're having, you know, they want to see the movies again. And I guess the thing to me that I love the most about being remembered is that I guess, you know, the movies I did weren't mainstream, they weren't commercial, so you really had to be a movie buff to go out and see them. And today, if people do see them, they have to make the effort to go and see them. It's not like something that'll be just dropped in their lap. So it's nice to see that I'm sort of like a cult 80s actress. Yeah, absolutely. And it's sort of like I wasn't really mainstream. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures was probably the most mainstream, so it's nice to see that people have to seek out the work I've done and, you know, go back to the 80s and have fun and remember those awesome, cool times, you know?
Those were the best times for making movies, you know, because everything was new, everything was different, everything was clean, you know, I mean, there weren't any remakes, there weren't any,
That's right.
You know, it was all original stuff.
That's right, and the other thing about the 80s too, well, for me was, first of all, it embraced individuality and being different, and there was a grittiness to the early 80s, which I love, and then when it got into the mid-80s, there was a big sense of humor that was happening in the 80s. And I think that's awesome. I mean, it was an interesting time in transition as an actress to go from work that was like super gritty and raw to, you know, kind of goofy, you know, fun, you know, kind of like sort of making fun of itself as well. I mean, the interesting thing about even TerraVision was TerraVision I did, and I play an 80s girl, and we're sort of making fun of the 80s. I mean, we knew that movie was a total parody of the 80s. We knew. And we dressed in the whole voice and everything, but yet it was in the 80s. So you could actually make fun of it within the 80s, which I think made it a kind of a unique film. And
You were the original satire maker.
yes, exactly. At the beginning, I'm like, wait a minute, now we're making fun of the whole thing. So, yeah.